Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Morning Mayhem. It's your boy Chris coming at you with another episode this week. Super glad to have you with me and super glad to be with you. If you are new here, this is the Morning Mayhem. I do a weekly show on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. and then the individual segments are broken up into what I call morning nuggets, a little bit more manageable bite-sized pieces, if you will, and those are released throughout the week. And sometimes along with those, I'll release some reaction videos to music videos or movie trailers or what have you. I am in the arts world myself as a filmmaker, so you know that's something that's near and dear to my heart. But I'll release some of those sometimes, you know, a little filler, a little fun, and also some little shorts. I've been getting into those lately. It's actually been a little while, so I've got some of those ready to go. Those will be released here in a little bit. But you guys have stumbled across the Morning Mayhem. I hope you enjoy the show. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, follow, all that good fun stuff. Whatever platform you are on watching this right now, I am on multiple different platforms. You'll see down in the show notes below. We are everywhere, just so we can kind of get the voice out there and get the messaging out there. Again, mainstream media does a really, really good job of suppressing everyone else's voices. And we're actually going to talk about that a little bit here later in the show about how the White House has our backs. And so that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I do want to welcome you guys to the show. And man, what a week it has been. Last week was awesome. Of course, it was Trump's first full week, and there was a lot to go over. It's still a lot this week. We got more executive orders, right? Let's see, more deportations. Depending on what side of the aisle you're on. That's a good thing or not. Trump signed the Lake and Riley Act, which is, again, something that's near and dear to my heart, being a Georgia boy and knowing that story. My wife was actually just talking to me a little while ago about how when he was signing the act, Lake and Riley's mother was there and telling her story and speaking, and he was consoling her, and it just broke my wife's heart. She's a softie just like I am. We're both softies. And, you know, we have a 12-year-old girl and we've heard all the stories that have come out about things that are happening to women in general, to the young women, especially with the illegal immigrants. So, you know, we're going to talk about that in just a little bit too, but what a wonderful thing to see a president step up to the plate and not only be able to say the name of Lake and Riley, which the last president,
Lincoln Riley
could not, but to sign the Lake and Riley Act. So good on you, President Trump. I think that's fantastic. I think that is a bill or an act that we're going to definitely be celebrating for a long time. Also, we had our new press secretary, Caroline, I believe is how you say it, Caroline Leavitt. She showed up and showed out on her first day and got everybody stirred up. But you know what? It's great to see her. She's been all over the place since then on news stations and you know, interviews and whatnot. She knows her stuff. Really excited to talk a little bit more about her later on. And yeah, just more winning in general this week. So it's been a really, really good week. Super excited about that. I do want to promote, and I only do this once a month, but the first Monday of every month is the only live stream that I do. Now, I co-host a live stream every Saturday night over on Railify's Off the Rails, and you'll probably see it scrolling here in just a moment, and if you hadn't already. Link to his channel is down in the show notes below, always. But that's Sean over at Railify. He has a Saturday night live stream called Off the Rails. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can always find me co-hosting that show. But again, I only host one live stream show, and I only do it once a month. Right now, we may see what this year holds, but it's been going good so far. So first Monday of every month, which is coming around, February 3rd. So this coming Monday will be our next Monday Night Mayhem live stream. And for that show, I do have Sean from Railify. He's going to be on there. And so is Robert Herr from the Washcast and Spin Cycle. Live, he's producing that show, and both of these guys have just been near and dear to my heart this past year. Really been very, very beneficial knowing them and my growth. I think in their growth, we've all just benefited from each other, and the reason we're doing this show the way that we're doing it is it's my 1 year anniversary of doing this show. So officially of doing the show February 2nd last year to February 3rd this year will be our 1 year anniversary. So I'm super thrilled to have those guys joining me. Again, they've been very special to me this year, and I want to celebrate with those guys, and I want to celebrate with you. So Monday night, February 3rd, 10 p.m. Eastern time, I will be on YouTube, Rumble, and X. I think I'll be streaming to all of those. Pretty much giving up on Odyssey. It doesn't seem to work over there. So if you guys are watching on Odyssey, watch me somewhere else. I don't know. I just can't stream over there for some reason. But hopefully we won't get too graphic and I won't have to jump over to just Rumble, because sometimes I've had to do that because of the content of the messaging there, of the conversation. So we'll see. Planning to stick around on all channels for that, or all platforms for that. So again, don't forget to join us Monday night. I would love to have you guys. Again, I only do it once a month, and this one's a big one because it is my anniversary show, and super thrilled for that. I guess with all that said, we'll go ahead and get into today's show. So let's say, well, I can't talk. Let's take a look at what we have on today's show. All right, leave them kids alone. We're going to talk about one of the new executive orders that came down and how it's going to be very beneficial to keep the hands off the kids. We're going to talk about migrant pedos are getting the boot. Kind of gave a little bit of foreshadowing to that, and we'll get into that a little bit deeper. But it's a fantastic thing, if you're a human being. But if you're on the left, which I know there's people over there that have a heart still, but I don't know why. For some reason, they think this is a bad thing. But we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Big girls don't cry. We do have some plus-size ladies causing a ruckus. One particularly now, we'll reflect on one from the past and kind of do a deep dive into that because, look, as a fat kid myself, the world ain't made for us necessarily. And it's not the world that needs to conform to us. It's us that need to learn how to conform to it. Also, we're going to talk about the new media entering the game, and this is, again, reflective upon our new press secretary and what she brought out at her first press conference, Caroline Levitt. I'm going to try to say that name more and more if I can. And lastly, Quentin Tarantino's final film update. So little something on that. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot, but let's take a look at that. All right, guys. And before we get into any of that, of course, we have to look at our clip of the week.
Hello, Mr. President. Welcome to California.
Hello, you greasy butt dart.
Oh, come on, Donnie. It's just a bit of hair gel.
That shit looks flammable, Gavin. Don't get near those fires with that grease in your hair.
I'm not getting anywhere near those fires. I have a team of very diverse people in Subaru Outbacks that always handle fires. I just need you to help me make fires illegal in California. I keep telling people that fires cause cancer, but they just keep lighting them. Now, things are so bad, I've had to hire Rosie O'Donnell to lead the fire department.
Yeah, all right, let's go, dipshit. Get away from her, creep. Come on, boy, this way, dummy.
That's just rude, Donnie. I'm a lot smarter than I look, I just snipped her hair.
All right, everyone, Daddy's here to bail California out of this mess. We're going to get some real firefighters in here and get Gavin some less flammable hair gel.
Thanks, Daddy. I knew you'd make America great again.
I mean, that's not far off from what probably should have been said, or what do you call it, subconsciously conveyed in the conversation. I love the part, Daddy's here. Daddy's here and he's going to fix California. So anyways, I love that clip. I thought it was great. I had several clips, actually. I'll pull this up real quick. Boom. But I do put this post out once a week, on Mondays, typically, again, for whatever reason. I was late again this week. Sorry, guys, but I'll put this call up for a clip of the week. And ask for anybody to submit any clips that they think would be good for the show. And so we've got a few. So Mike's a good friend of the show. Now this one, it's not a clip of the week, but I may do a meme of the week. I'm thinking about doing that. And this would definitely be one of those. The I don't really care, Margaret. If you don't know what that is, check it out. This was a great interview with JD Vance, who, thank God, he has the beard. I was talking to somebody the other day and we were looking at him without the beard. I'm glad to have a beard back in the White House, and I'm glad he's wearing a beard. Again, if you've seen pictures without the beard, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Of course, we know the Selena Gomez one. This is with Tom Homan. This is from, who's that from? Leah, friend of the show. That one was great. This is just epic. Just really, I don't even know a better way to put it. It was a very epic video of President Donald Trump being the man, the myth, the legend. That was awesome. Rob Schneider, again from Leah. Rob Schneider standing up for free speech at a comedy show. I'd seen this one before, and it is what it is. And this is great. I'll see if I can play this one.
What's up, guys? What's up, California? My name is Alex. What's up, I'm Aiden. I'm Oliver. I'm Brian. And I'm Dylan. And together we are
gay as f. You guys are gay as f. Anyways, we've been making signage for more than 14 years. Any size can be customized with 3 years warranty. UL&C, turnover time is 20 days. Click the link in our bio for free quotes.
I love that LED dude so much. If you've never seen him, I don't know where he is. I guess he's on TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok. But that almost became the clip of the week. But he's got some great ones out there. He's hilarious. But here's another one from Leah. Selena Gomez crying. Oh man, this was a really good one. With see, look at JD without the beard. Look at him without the beard. Thank God for facial hair. And then there's the one that got it. And this was from Leah. So I've mentioned her many times before on the show. She's gotten all the clips of the week, I think. She is just fanatical and hyper focused on making sure she contributes to the show because I need all the help that I can get. So thank you, Leah. Love you, girl. She's awesome. And like I have to do it every time, I guess. Just it's ingrained in my head. But you know, the clip of the week itself was Trump going to California because of the fires. So I have to mention again, Leah's boyfriend does fight the wildfires out in California. He's out there now. She's out in California, but that's what he does is he fights the wildfires. So continuing to pray for him and for her, but for him and his protection and everyone he's working with. So yeah, shout out to him. But yeah, guys, I'll be posting calls for that. Like again, usually Monday mornings. Just depends on what's happening. Mondays sometimes can be very, very hectic days for my real job, or they could just be hectic days with the news world, and I'm just hyper focused on taking everything in, and so I totally forget to post. So if I do, please forgive me. But I'll usually try to get that up Monday morning. So if you see any clips that are funny, entertaining, educational, or any way beneficial to what you think should be included on the show, drop them below that. Let me know. Save them, bookmark them throughout the week. Post them when I post that post there, and I'll give you a shout out if I share it. All right, first thing we're going to get into today is the leave them kids alone is what I called this segment, and that is because we're getting those groomers away from those kids, right? So here we go, guys. From the White House, from the president's desk, this is an executive order signed by President Trump protecting children from chemical and surgical mutilation. Yes, this is a win. And I know a lot of people are going to complain about it and like, oh, you're not allowing transgender kids to be. There's no such thing as a transgender kid. Sorry. Hate to burst your bubble. Let's go to this article real quick, kind of breaks it down a little bit. This is from WorldNet Daily, not one that I've read before. I did get this article right here specifically from right here, this PUREBLOOD media group that I am associated with. Those guys do a fantastic job. With everything they do, with the TV Guide and the news aggregator, the kind of the commentator coalition that's put together to bring entertainment and news to the public, and really rooting for these guys and thrilled to be part of them. But they have a news aggregator. I've mentioned it before. All the articles that run across it are triple source fact checked. So you're getting something that's been like researched and fact checked. There has to be at least 3 sources supporting that story Otherwise, it won't hit the news aggregator. So fantastic place to find some actually, trustworthy news articles. Just saying, I'm a little biased, but I prefer to be factually accurate than, shotting in the dark. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's take a look at that article here. World Net Daily. It says, absolutely fantastic. Trump signs executive order restricting sex changes for minors. U.S. will not fund, sponsor, promote, assist, or support the so-called transition of a child from one sex to another. And this from Fox News says President Donald Trump on Tuesday signed an executive order to restrict chemical and surgical sex changes procedures for minors. Across the country today, medical professionals are maiming and sterilizing a growing number of impressionable children under the radical and false claim that adults can change a child's sex through a series of irreversible medical interventions. The order entitled Protecting Children from Chemical and Surgical Mutilation states, this dangerous trend will be a stain on our nation's history, and it must end. Robbie Starbuck, I'm familiar with him from, he was on Timcast quite a bit, and really liked him, really liked his approach, and he's been very, very strong in pushing for a lot of the stuff that we're seeing coming out now. He's super, I won't say super MAGA, I'm assuming he is, but super supportive of a lot of the same things that I stand for. So really enjoy him. He says, massive news, President Trump just signed an executive order banning sex changes for kids. More specifically, it bans the chemical and surgical mutilation of minors. He says the dangerous trend will be a stain on our nation's history and it must end. Absolutely fantastic. And it is. And there it breaks it down a little bit there. It says countless children soon regret that they have been mutilated and begin to grasp the horrifying tragedy that they will never be able to conceive children of their own or nurture their children through breastfeeding. The order continues. Moreover, these vulnerable youths' medical bills may rise throughout their lifetimes as they are often trapped with lifelong medical complications, a losing war with their own bodies, and tragically sterilization. Absolutely correct on all charges there. Again, children don't know what they want. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Bear with me. Children don't know what they want. They think they're a dinosaur. They want to just eat chicken nuggets all day long. I mean, kids don't know anything about anything, right? They have to be taught. They have to experience life before they know anything about themselves, anything about the world. And again, we have to teach them. We have to bring them up. We have to nurture and raise and educate them and give them the opportunity to have these experiences in life, right? This stops kids from basically being groomed. Because kids don't come up with this on their own. They're either seeing it on social media, which they shouldn't have any access to, or they're hearing it from their teachers or their peers who are hearing it from whoever, or their parents or teachers or whomever. We shouldn't be trying to get kids to even think about their sexuality. I have a 12-year-old daughter. She's at that age now where she's liking, boys and whatnot, or, I don't know, girls. I don't know, maybe. But she's getting to that point where she's going to like who she likes, and she's going to start discovering who she is. And my job is to be supportive of that, but also to guide her, and she knows girls are girls, boys are boys. Girls become women, boys become men. It's not that part is kind of figured out. It's not a mystery. It's stupid to her. Any other logic behind that, which is great, because a lot of people think they can push it on their kids. This is great because it says, hey, look, we're going to quit mutilating the kids, because again, not only do they not know what they want, but they don't know what they're signing up for. So you get an 8-year-old, 9-year-old saying, I want to be, I'm a boy and I think I'm a girl and I want to be a girl. Then they have surgeries, and those surgeries are temporary, artificial slits and cuts and jabs and all this stuff. And they will have to be on medication or some kind of repair surgery for, things trying to grow back the way they're supposed to. And they're going to have to be on that for life. And they don't know they're getting into that. So it's a lifelong dedication. And, all points taken are absolutely correct in this article. So I'm super, super thrilled that he's put a stop to this. I think more research needs to be done. Not that I will ever support this, but even like for adults, I think it's goofy to do it. But when you're over 18, you're an adult and you're on your own, you can do what you want to do. Don't expect me to recognize you as a man or a woman if you're not, but as far as you go, if you want to chop things off or, get things cut open, go for it. Why not? But yeah, children are too impressionable. This is incredibly dangerous. More research needs to be done for adults, let alone what we're putting out here for these kids. And I am beyond thrilled to see this executive order. And I hope that there's not any chance or anyone would want to override this and try to get some legislation passed that would get around it. That would be an awful thing. All right. So next up, we're going to talk about the illegal immigrants, the migrants, the aliens, whatever you want to call them. I don't particularly care. Everybody's got their own thing. I'm not showing them any love. That is for sure. Let's go ahead and pull up this article real quick. From the New York Post, illegal migrant busted on Long Island for trying to lure 11-year-old girl into his car with candy. Yeah. You guys know where we're going. Okay. So let's take a look at that. It's Christy Nome. Boom. Ooh, that's a little blown up. I did that because we got a couple of guys that have a hard time reading. I'm one of those guys. All right. An illegal migrant allegedly tried to lure an 11-year-old girl into his car by offering her candy on Long Island, prosecutors alleged Tuesday. I don't care about his name. 38 of Ecuador was arraigned in Suffolk County District Court on a charge of felony attempted kidnapping. He was busted Monday after police said, don't care, a blah, blah, blah resident rolled up alongside the young girl in his 2007 gray Chevrolet and badgered her to get in. The child, who had just gotten off her school bus, refused, so the creep allegedly offered her candy, because that's what you do. Right? That's the old playbook there, I guess. So, why not? Hey, look at there. That's your face. That's your face, you big disgrace. All right. The girl bolted home, that would be something. The girl bolted home and called 911 instead. Smart kid. Let's see. Pedo was arrested just an hour and a half later and claimed that he'd only offered the girl a ride because she looked like she was cold. Assistant District Attorney Melissa Greer told the court. The defendant was a complete stranger to this 11-year-old victim. Greer said Pedo was originally hit with a misdemeanor rap of endangering the welfare of a child, but the DA's office later upgraded the charge. His defense attorney, Norley Who Cares, argued prosecutors were reaching with the felony charge. Were they? Even when looking at the best circumstances, Your Honor, I believe that when you look at the definition of a felony in the second degree in which he abducts another person, or in this case, attempts to abduct, I really think that is really a stretch by the DA's office, this chick said. She argued Pedo should be released on $200 bail, telling the judge he had a clean record and steady employment. Prosecutors also agreed with that bail amount, but Judge Evan Tenenbaum, I feel like I know that name, set bail at $100,000. My boy. Blah, 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 blah is back in court on January 31st. So, interesting. So, illegal immigrants out here trying to pick up the kids. Oh, that's odd. I'm sure that never happens. Actually, Democrats are always saying that they want to protect women and Republicans are taking their rights away. This is a clear example. Look, illegal immigrants sexually assault and or harm women at an incredibly disproportionate rate than any other classification. When you break it down, the per capita, right, the percentage wise, how many illegal immigrants sexually assault women versus, black or white or Native American or Asian American or whatever, like American citizen, any classification, illegal immigrants do it at a significantly higher rate. Significantly higher rate. Not only sexually assaulting, but like in the case of, unfortunately, Lake and Riley, and I got her name on the tip of my tongue and I don't want to say it wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But there's multiple others as well. And it's not just sexual assault. As we know, it's murder. In some cases, it's a brutal murder. And it comes at the hand of illegal immigrants that shouldn't be here. But the Democrat thinks we're the baddies. we're the baddies because we don't want this to happen. But again, do want to give props to Donald Trump, not just for the executive orders and everything he's pushing out there, but Trump signed the Lake and Riley Act. I mentioned that earlier. Good on him for that. All this deportation and shutting down the border is fantastic. And I will say too, though, I saw this the other day. ICE isn't the only one who's out here busting these criminals.
And not just by Trump. Chris Hansen is catching migrant criminals. Watch.
You gave her $50.
Yeah. No.
What was that for? The $50 was for sexo con chica 15 años.
No quería. Yo no quería. No quería yo.
Her niece was 15. And you said you wanted a from her and were going to pay her $50. Are you here in this country legally? Do you have U.S. citizenship?
Soy ilegal.
But you came here, Marvin, for sexo con chico 15 años. No. You could go back to Honduras.
No, por favor.
Chris Hansen's the host of Takedown with Chris Hansen and the Predators I've Caught with Chris Hansen podcast. I mean, first of all, great Spanish.
Editing is my friend, Jesse. Editing is my friend.
So these people, they show up just like Americans, ready for action.
A week ago tonight, in Genesee County, Michigan, Sheriff Chris Swanson's ghost team and I did an investigation. 2 illegal Hondurans showed up in the same night among the other predators. Both had been in this country before, gotten kicked out, sneaked back in, and got arrested in this sting trying to have sex with a child. And I can tell you, in the week that's passed, they've already been picked up by ICE on a detainer, and it's the quickest they've ever seen this happen in the history of Genesee County.
Well, from all Americans, thank you. You've done more than Biden's ICE did in 4 years already.
Hey, good on Chris Hansen for that. Him and his staff, his entire team. I mean, they're doing like Jesse Waters. He's done more than Biden has done in 4 years. Not more than Obama has done. Let's keep that in mind, though, folks. Obama deported more people than Trump has or is even on track to do. So, however, you look at the numbers right now. If Trump continues as he is right now at the rate he's going, he still won't deport as many people as Barack Obama did. Y'all with me? But nobody made a huge fuss about that at the time. The left actually supported that and loved it. I'm sure that had nothing to do with cult-like mentality for the Democrat Party or the race of the president at the time, that you could speak against anything he did. But yeah, I don't want to hear anything about them talking about how MAGA is like a cult or anything like that, because if you get out of lockstep, right, against what they're doing on the left, you are cast out like a leper. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Here we are doing God's work, I like to think, protecting women, protecting children, securing our nation, making the world a better place. And all we or Trump get is crap for it. So good on Chris Hansen and good on everybody who's out here doing God's work. I mean, it's time to clean this country up. So we're going to move on to this other story here. It's kind of a funny story. And you guys have maybe seen this one, I don't know, but it says not the right fit plus size rapper sues Lyft after claiming driver refused to pick her up over fears she could burst his tires. Don't know why it's written that way, but good on them. This is from the U.S. Sun. It says, when Dajua Blanding insisted she could fit in the car, the Lyft driver said, "Believe me, you can't." I think the first thing we're going to see here is a picture. That's a big girl. That's a healthy girl right there. Every bit of, let's see. I watched 1,000-Pound Sisters with my wife and my daughter. They watch that on repeat while we eat. I think they watch it for me, so I won't go back for seconds, But she's probably over 400 pounds, close to 500 pounds. That's a healthy girl right there. And by healthy, I mean big. I don't mean actually healthy. That is not healthy. I am not healthy. If you ever saw a full body shot, I am not healthy. And here's the deal. I understand and I can relate to this. And I'll talk about that at the end of this segment. But I understand that we have to conform to the world, not the other way around. So let's read the article. I'll kind of fill in some blanks if there are any. Let's see. Humiliated Dank Demos, real name, I don't care. So her name is Dank. Okay, Demos. 36 recorder heated argument with the Lyft driver on whether she could fit into his vehicle. There's the lawyers trying to get some money. There's this said I can't fit in his car, so he got to cancel my ride. Oh, it was too funny. Let's see. Blanding insisted, I can fit in this car. The driver confidently responded in the clip, believe me, you can't. Despite the driver saying he would refund the rapper on her ride, she sued the ride-hailing service, claiming she was discriminated against. Shane Blanding said to Fox 2, I've been in cars smaller than that. Not recently, I would imagine. I just want them to know that it hurt my feelings. After sharing the video to her Instagram that has since gone viral, many viewers jumped to the Lyft driver's defense, saying that she should have followed his advice, which he gave in the video. He said, you need to call an XL ride. There's nothing wrong with that. He did a good job, I think. And people are noticing that. They said that they jumped to his defense, saying that she should have called for a large XL. One comment said, it's against the law to overload a car. The driver was very polite. He explained his valid reasons and even apologized. Try seeing things from another's perspective. In the video circulating social media, Blanding said in the caption she felt discriminated against by the driver. She said, am I wrong? Lyft, what have you all got to say about this driver who discriminated against me? I just feel like you all treat big people like we don't belong here. The rapper filed a lawsuit against the Lyft driver, claiming she was unfairly treated. She said in her legal action that she suffered emotional distress and humiliation. She's the one that recorded it, though, right? I'm just asking. The driver pulled up in a Mercedes-Benz sedan before locking his doors. And attempting to drive away when he saw her, Blanding says in her suit. She claims that when she confronted him, the driver told her she was too big to fit in the back seat and said his tire couldn't support her weight. Shocked, Blanding responded in the clip, what do I have to do with your tires? You big. If there's too much weight, it will pop a tire. All right, I don't know how much weight, but that looks about right to me. Probably about that much. And this guy's like, I'm going to get rich off of this. No, you better not. I hope not. Blanding's attorneys Jonathan Marco and Zach Runyon argue that the Lyft driver refusing to take rap or constitute discrimination because weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan. Marco told Fox 2, I knew that it was illegal and I knew that it was wrong. The attorney also equated the refusal to pick up Blanding to refusing someone transportation based on their race or religion. Let's just be real about this. Here's an opportunity. She was pissed off because she didn't get the ride. And it hurt her feelings because he called her out for what she is. She's a big girl. That's a big girl. Okay. He's like, look, I don't get paid enough by Lyft to mess my car up. You get in here and you pop my tires, you mess up my back seat. They're not going to repair that. I'm using my best judgment and saying, hey, you need to get you an XL. Get you an XL ride and you'll be fine. Was very polite, offered to refund it and everything. I think the driver was fine in this scenario. I think she may have legitimately got her feelings hurt, but she's the one that recorded the video. She's the one that posted it. So any traumatic stress or whatever she has should be because of her, not because of him, right? I mean, again, we live in this society where it's victim, victim, victim. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. It's, oh no, him doing that's just like him saying, I'm not going to pick up a black person. It's always racism or sexism or prejudice or something. People always want to try to find a way to be the victim because no one wants to find the way or go the path anyway to be the winner. It's all about victimhood because that's a shorter, easier path. let's look at this other story that this reminded me of, and you guys will probably remember this one from a few years ago. This is from Independent. Singer Mary Lambert described shock over how unprepared doctor's office was for a fat patient. And I can't tell from her old body. She I don't know. She looks as big as that other one. It says singer Mary Lambert has described her frustration over a recent fact-phobic medical appointment, which saw the doctor's office unprepared to attend to her as a fat patient. The Grammy nominee, 32, recounted her experience attempting to undergo an MRI at her local radiology office. Blah 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 blah. After she injured her knee. Blah 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 blah. They didn't have gowns to fit me. They didn't have MRI. Well, you a big girl. You a big girl. Of course, I don't have a picture of her in here, do I? Whew. Okay. My point is, I'm bringing her into the fold too. You know, no pun intended on the folds. But my point in bringing her into the conversation is all these people are like, okay, how can I get in the headlines? How can I be the victim? I was inconvenienced. And yes, I get it. You were inconvenienced. It happens. Look, true story, guys, completely transparent. Okay. Even if it's a little embarrassing, and it is, to be honest. I'm fat, you know, I'm an overweight dude. There are things I can't do, and it's really sad. And some of that restricts from me from doing stuff with my daughter. And that's what really sucks. One of the things that I can't do necessarily, sometimes is go out to eat. Like if we wanted to go out to eat as a family, I'm not getting a booth because sometimes you can't move the booth or you can't move the table, and I've got it cutting off circulation and everything. I'm like, and I can't eat. You feel me? Or I got half a belly hanging on top of that. It is very embarrassing. It is very embarrassing. So I can't expect the restaurant to have the tables and the booths in the entire place, you know, so many feet apart and everything. I've got to know, like, hey, if I do go out to eat, I need to find a place that has seating, you know, that's adjustable like that, or maybe ask for a table instead of a booth and just do that and shut up about it. You know, it's not their fault that I'm fat. It's not their fault that these people are fat. I mean, they need to get over themselves. The world doesn't revolve around you, you know. And I don't mean to be mean about this. Again, I'm coming from the same place. I had to have an MRI done recently. Had some medical stuff come up. They did all kinds of stuff to me, y'all. I was like, I'm so tired of being picked on. Not because of the weight, but, you know, go do blood work here, get an EKG over there, do an MRI. Just so much stuff I had to do at one time. It was just overwhelming. Anyways, at the moment, I'm okay. We'll see what the results come out to be. I'm still waiting on those. I go into an MRI machine. It is not built for a huge dude or a huge woman like this. Okay, I know that sounds awful, huge, but this is reality. And I remember having to like tuck my arms in and put them on there. I was in there for an hour. I was in there for 40 minutes. And then they pulled me out, shot me up with some contrast or whatever, and then stuck me back in there for another 20 minutes. In the same spot, 20 minutes. I'm like it was very uncomfortable. And I am a princess when it comes to like laying down in the bed. If there's crumbs in my bed or dog hair on my bed, or if the sheets aren't completely straight and they're wrinkled a little, I can't do I got to fix them. So laying on my back in one position, having my head completely locked down in place where I can't move it or anything, that sucked. But you know what I did? I squeezed in there and I got it done. And if they said, hey, you're not going to fit, we're going to have to reschedule this for another time, we can get another machine. Is that okay? You know what I would have said? Yeah, that's fine. No big deal. You know, kind of wish we would have talked about this before I took the day off or something like that, maybe, you know, something like that. But again, not their fault. It would have just been my own frustrations with the situation, but I would have moved on with my life. They just want to play the victim. They want to play the victim. They want to be in the news. They want to be in the headlines. It's all about me. But then again, that takes me back to the whole point of this being a weird spiritual warfare that we're in right now. And I ain't even going to get into all that. But what do you guys think? Are these people just looking for the attention? They just wanting to be the victim? Or should we start thinking more about fat people in the world and being more accommodating to fat people in every walk of life? I think they just need to shut up and move on. eat a salad. This is a really cool story. This came from our new Smoking Hot press secretary, Caroline Levitt. Who has done an absolutely fantastic job so far. Loving her, loving the attitude, loving the professionalism, loving the organization, everything that she's bringing to the table. It reminds me of Kayleigh McEnany. It reminds me of that kind of, it's almost like a military, cadence almost kind of thing that all of Trump's people have. They come in and they just get the job done. There's no games. There's no plan. They're not trying to make friends. They come out, they get the job done. They move on to the next thing. Everybody's doing that. Look at Tom Homan and what he's doing with the immigration, right? You look at, RFK, getting, he knows what he needs to do when he gets in there. Marco Rubio's already at work. Caroline Levitt. All these people. Pam Bondi. I'm going to come in. I'm going to get my job done. I'm going to move on. Got 4 years to get everything done that I possibly can to make a difference, to make America great again. And then who knows where I'll be. That's how they're working, and they're all doing a fantastic job. So Caroline, I'm digging you, girl. So again, she didn't have to read out of her binder. She knew her facts. She didn't hesitate to fire back at dumb questions. She was upfront about the drones. She talked about that, and so much more. We're going to talk about one thing that she mentioned, which is really exciting for people in my hemisphere, I would say, which I'm barely in at all, to be fair. But this comes from several places, but this one I'm pulling from the Hollywood Reporter. It says White House says it is opening briefing room to podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators. Press Secretary Caroline Levitt announced the new policy during her first press briefing Tuesday. Get him, girl. All right. Sorry. I'm a fan. Big changes are coming to the Brady press briefing room in the West Wing of the White House. Press Secretary Caroline Levitt, making her debut behind the podium Tuesday, announced that the Trump White House would open up the briefing room to independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators, and would be creating a dedicated seat in the first row for the new media. Trump, of course, leveraged new media to great effect during the 2024 campaign, appearing on podcasts hosted by the likes of Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, and the Nelk Boys. In addition to more traditional TV appearances at his victory party at Mar-a-Lago, UFC CEO Dana White called out some of the podcasters by name. In keeping with this revolutionary media approach that President Trump deployed during the campaign, Trump White House will speak to all media outlets and personalities, not just the legacy media, who are seated in the room, Levitt announced to the briefing room. Because according to recent polling from Gallup, Americans' trust in mass media has fallen to a record low. Yeah, absolutely. Millions of Americans, especially young people, have turned from traditional television outlets and newspapers to consume their news from podcasts, blogs, social media, and other independent outlets. It's essential to our team that we share President Trump's message everywhere and adapt this White House to the new media landscape in 2025. She also said that the White House is looking to restore the press passes of 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. In light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members whose outlets, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room, she continued. While the first question did go to a new media voice, it was not exactly a Washington outsider. Axios co-founder Mike Allen got the question, asking about DeepSeek, and artificial intelligence. It's kind of, to me, kind of a jab at the end of the whole story, how they're going to end that. But yeah, look, when and I almost did this, guys, but it was a little too much to do for what I was capable of at the last minute anyway. So Trump did one of his final rallies came to Macon, Georgia, which is right up the road from me. I actually applied for a press pass and I got approved. And I was going to be in the press corps pit with my camera, with my audio recording devices and everything. And I was going to be able to stream and whatnot. To do that correctly would have required me to have more artillery than I did. Power, battery backups, additional equipment. And I'm a one-man band. I probably could have got somebody to go in there and help me. But at the same time, you were locked down to that one location. You could not leave. You could not actually celebrate. You would be in front of and with the other media. And so I thought it was really cool I got accepted, but I ended up not being able to do it or deciding, really choosing that that's not what I needed to do on top of a hectic schedule that day. And so I ended up not doing it. But that was something to me that indicated like, okay, these people are open to this. And then hearing this just thrills my heart so much. So something I wanted to do, and I'm going to try to put up, I don't know if I'll be able to link to all these guys in the show notes because this is a lot. And I'll try to throw up a graphic for each of them. But I'm going to give some shout outs to some of the people that I turn to the most for news that are very trustworthy and entertaining to listen to. So here we go. Starting from my closest folks, of course. You got Third Railify, the Washcast, Spin Cycle Live, Handy News, PUREBLOOD Media, Lose Views, The Front Porch Conservative, Party OGs, Studio Jake Media, Mark Dice, The Quartering, Black Conservative Perspective, Liberal Hivemind, Officer Tatum, Don't Walk Run Productions, Cartier Family, The Hodge Twins, The Based Mother, Dom Lucre, Louder with Crowder, InfoWars, Dan Bongino, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, Benny Jones, and so much more. So that's kind of a highlight of people that I watch on a regular basis, I would say. And I want to give them all a shout out because if you're not following some of those guys, you might enjoy them. I do always say, check them out, see if that's something that, if that's the right flavor for you. Different strokes for different folks. You may enjoy them, you may not, and that's fine. But I really, really enjoy each and every one of those. And they all bring their own perspective while sharing the same kind of overall mindset that the perspective of the conservative, I guess, but their own personal perspective comes into it. And I appreciate that. I love that about each and every one of these guys. So definitely you go out and support your favorite creators. If it's myself or Sean at Third Railify or Robert at the Washcast or any of these guys I mentioned a minute ago, if you see a live stream, if you're not a paid member or anything like that, hit them up with a Rumble rant, hit them up with a super chat, throw them a little love out there if you can. Just show them that you love them and you appreciate them. And if nothing else, and I truly mean if nothing else, subscribe, like, and here's the big one, share the videos when you see them and help more people see them. And that will help them in the algorithm. That'll help them grow. And honestly, this stuff, we want to keep doing this. We're not doing this from a selfish perspective. We're trying to get the news out there. We are trying to battle the legacy media, mainstream media. And as we see right here, it's working. I don't know if Elon Musk deserves all the credit for the quote, but we are the media. That was something he said. It was something a lot of us have been saying for a while. And we definitely saw that with this election. We are the media. And while it's got a bunch of the legacy media folks like The View and other folks, they got their panties in a bunch about this. I can go on about that. I'm thrilled. I really hope they get some good quality folks in there. And I hope they do a good job because I have a feeling that more people are going to be educated now by having voices like ours, all these people I mentioned, in the same room, doing the same thing that the other ones are doing and have been doing but yet they've been allowed and even pushed to push the misinformation out there to suit their agenda. What do you guys think? Who do you think would be a great one to be in that room? Who's one of your favorite commentators, podcasters, journalists that's out there? And if there's, again, if I didn't call them out, put it in the comments down below. I would love to know who else needs a good watch, a good follow. And I'm always up for being educated. So let me know in the comments. All righty. Our last story today is going to be about the one and only Quentin Tarantino. You know, love him or hate him for whatever, I think he's a great artist. I really do. And a fan of so many of his films. I guess you can't see any of them. But I got Pulp Fiction poster right here, up there, which is funny because I have my poster right next to it for This Day Sucks, which was an homage to Pulp Fiction. And I actually showed that on a live stream with a lot of you guys watching, and we had a good time there. But I'll link to that down in the show notes too, if you want to go watch that live stream where I showed my second short film that I ever did, and it was a Pulp Fiction Tarantino style film. So yeah, I'm a fan of Tarantino and his work. But in this article, for those that don't know, Tarantino said he would do 10 films and then he's out. So he's done 9. We're waiting on number 10. This article comes from People. I did find it in a couple other places too. Don't forget, all links will always be in the show notes below. You can go back and read through. It says Quentin Tarantino is putting his final film on hold until son Leo 5 is old enough to understand his work. Not enticing to me. Let's see. Quentin Tarantino is putting fatherhood ahead of directing his final film, which is interesting because that's basically how I've been living my life. Fatherhood has definitely taken the front seat, and the filmmaking, the podcasting thing I'm doing now has been fun because I can hop in and hop out. But the filmmaking has definitely taken a back seat just because my child is older and it does make it more difficult to get away. And I hate leaving her for anything. I truly do. Right now she's in bed. She's got school tomorrow morning. And, yeah, but leaving on the weekend to go film or nights to go film, it does kind of suck. And she's like my best friend and I love hanging out with her. So I get this. I get this emotion behind this and this dedication to your children, because that's something a lot of people can't speak to. And I'm not knocking him for this, but John Cena, he's huge. I mean, he's doing the wrestling thing. He's doing the acting thing all over the place. And he was asked recently about having kids, and he goes, I don't want to have kids. And he said, because my life is too hectic and all over the place, I wouldn't be able to raise them right, spend time with them, everything like that. Some people will say that's selfish. Some people will say that's responsible. I kind of see it both ways. If that is a selfish way to live, that you're going to say, I'm just going to live for me and me only, and I don't care about having a family, children, legacy, whatever, I can see the selfish side there, and I can agree with that. But then there's also the responsible side, like, okay, I know I'm going to be this person. So because of that, I'm choosing to not try to raise a child in that, because I know I'm not going to do a good job. And to be fair, I appreciate that too, because there's a lot of kids that have screwed up upbringings, whether they come from, poor folks, druggies, people like John Cena or anybody else who's traveling all the time and chasing their own dreams so much that the kids maybe take a back seat or, don't get the attention they deserve or the education they deserve. There's something to be said about that too. So I can see both sides of that for sure. So props to Tarantino here for saying, you know what, I want to hold off. I want my kid to enjoy what I do. He said on Monday, January 27th, Pulp Fiction director, 61, told, why do they always put the age in there? Told an audience at the Sundance Film Festival that he's in no hurry to actually jump into production. Stan Tarantino is giving all his focus to raising his 2 children. Good on you, man. I'm going to go 1 year. I am going to go to the Sundance Film Festival 1 year. I'm gonna. That is a goal of mine. Sundance Academy. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I think it's called Sundance Academy. They've come to the area and done some workshops, and it makes me even more want to go to the film festival. So I'm going to go one day. As a filmmaker, I think that's something we all want to do. I want to go check that out. Let's see. I've been doing that for 30 years. He said, I was working in the industry. Next month, my son turns 5, and I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. How precious. When I'm in America, I'm writing. When I'm in Israel, I'm an Abba, which means father. Yes, it does. Abba. Abba, father. Let's see. I didn't know he was in Israel. That's interesting. The idea of jumping on a voyage when they're too young to understand it is not enticing to me. He added of his kids. I kind of want to not do whatever movie I end up doing until my son is at least 6. That's just another year. That way he'll know what's going on. He'll be there, and it'll be a memory for the rest of his life. When it comes to his daughter, Tarantino T, she's already such a genius that she'll just get it. The Kill Bill director shares his 2 children with his wife, Daniela. The pair welcomed their son, Leo, in February 2020, and their daughter, whose name hasn't been released to the public, in July 2022. That's interesting. Okay, all right. And I think it just goes on down here. He talks to Jimmy Kimmel, who I don't like, and talks about Leo, his son, learning the F word as soon as possible and stuff, all this and that, blah, blah, blah. Look, I will say this. As a fan of Tarantino's work, I'm looking forward to his 10th film. I think it'll be great. I think most of them have been great, if not at least entertaining and good from that standpoint. And he really does put his all into it as an artist. And I appreciate that so much. He's not somebody who's out there just trying to make a buck. And again, that kind of goes to what we see in Hollywood right now. Everybody's just, we need a new Star Wars show, a new Star Wars movie. We need to crank out a new Marvel. Hey, let's get DC going over here. He's like, I'll wait till I'm ready. Must be nice. But I get it. I appreciate it. I respect it for what it is. And so, I will say, I don't know if 6 is old enough. He's going to know what's going on, one more year. But I've had my child in one of my films. So that's pretty cool. You could do something like that there, buddy. But I do think it's great that he's trying to focus on his kids and be a present and active father. And, look, we need more of that. So I will say, despite any of his personal views, political views, religious views, whatever, I don't know about all that stuff. What I do know about is the guy wants to be a good dad, and he's doing that. So that's what I will applaud him on for sure, outside of being the artist that he is. And so yeah, I think that's great. And I don't mind waiting. It'll be his 10th and final film, allegedly. And yeah, if you're going to do it big, do it right. That's the way I look at it. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, that's pretty much the end of the show there. I appreciate you sticking with me. I hope it wasn't too long for you. Like I said, I was hoping to get kind of in and out this week. We do have the Monday night live stream coming up as a reminder, and that's kind of why I was trying to flow through this one. And next week's will probably be short too. But Monday Night Mayhem, this Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time, I will have Sean of Third Railify on, and I will have Robert Hur of the Washcast on. And both those gentlemen have been crucial to the growth of this channel and my personal growth doing this whole thing. So excited about having them on. It will be my anniversary show, my 1-year anniversary of doing this channel. And I'm thrilled. I'm really excited that I get to share that with you guys. So hoping you'll be there Monday evening, February 3rd at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in for that. Love interacting with you guys in the audience. Just as a reminder, guys, again, if this is your first time watching, this is the full show, long format. We do cut up the segments into little bite-sized pieces and release those throughout the week. And I hope you guys will enjoy those with the mix of, like I said, reaction shorts and whatever else I decide to throw out there. But anyways, guys, that's it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good fun stuff. Come see me over on Third Railify's Off the Rails on Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to check out Pure Blood Media. Links to them are in the show notes below. And guys, we will see you on the next one.
Some people think I'm high on stage. I would never get high before a show, because when I'm high, I don't want to stand in front of a bunch of people that I don't know. That does not sound comfortable. Like when you're high and a joke doesn't work, it's extra scary. It's like, whoa, what the hell happened there? I am retreating within myself. Why have all these people gathered? And why am I elevated? Why am I not facing the same way as everyone else? And what is this electric stick in my hand? I like the way this is situated here. It seems like you guys were chasing me, closing in, then said, "F it, let's sit down."